All right, hello everybody. Got a question from my good friend and brother-in-law last night, Ryan Barry. Ryan texts asking about bail bonds and how those work. It sounds like Ryan was finishing up watching Better Call Saul last night. I have not seen last night's episode, so I'm going to reserve any comments on that. Maybe we'll talk about Better Call Saul in the future. But Ryan's question was about bail bonds and how they work. Bail bonds are something that are strictly in place to ensure that whoever is charged with a crime appear at all of their court hearings. So there are two general types of bail bonds that we see, at least here in the state of Michigan. This might differ across the country if you're watching from other places. But the first one is called a personal recognizance bond, or a PR bond. And all of that means is that as long as you show up to court, you do not have to pay anybody any money to get out of jail or to stay out of jail. Okay, so as long as you show up for court, you're good. Personal recognizance bonds are good. We like those. Now, the other type of bond that we usually see is something that's called a cash surety bond. Now, the judge will put a bond on you, and let's say it's a $10,000 bond that the judge puts on you. You can do one of two things. You can go to the court, you can pay them $10,000, and you can get out with that. Now, that $10,000, as long as you appear at all of your court hearings, you will get that back at the end. All of that comes back to you. They might deduct your fines and costs depending on how your case ends, but you will get that money back. But let's say that you don't have $10,000 lying around on the couch cushions. In that case, you call a bondsman. And in that situation, the bondsman is going to charge you 10% of whatever your bond is. So if you have a $10,000 bond, you pay the bondsman $1,000 and they post your bond and you get out. Okay? So the good thing about that is that you don't have to post the entire amount, which is great. The only downside of that is that the bondsman keeps that $1,000 that you pay them. Okay, so, there's pluses and minuses to both of them, and that's why you always want to work with a good, reliable bondsman. Now, as far as how bond is determined, the court's going to look at, number one, are you a flight risk? Okay, are you going to appear at all of your hearings? Are you a danger to the community? What's the severity of the charge? What's your criminal record look like? So that's going to go into what the court takes a look at as far as setting your bond, whether it's a high bond, whether it is a low bond. Okay. And generally there will be a bond that will be put on you, but there are certain crimes, murder especially, where the court will say absolutely not, no bond, you're not getting out. Okay. So that's kind of a nutshell on how bail bonds work. Any questions on anything, shoot me a message and we'll talk about it. For the time being, take care everybody. See you soon.